This is an important subject. It might seem kind of general, but this infects so many people, and it's an underlying feeling that people constantly have, and it causes a dis-ease in the mind and the emotional body. And usually the so-called corrective advice for this is wrong. Corrective advice is like if you feel like you don't have any friends, you need to go out and go meet some people. You need to go out and get involved with this or that and do this, and then you be open and you talk to the people, and you try to, get along, or whatever they say. This is not the remedy, though, for, you can say, higher beings. Now, the title's going to be something like, when you get older, maybe your friends will disappear. It's older is it's a subjective term. This can happen anytime. I've actually felt this for the most part my entire life, but I can say this: when I was younger, when most people are younger, teenager, college years, it's not true for everybody, but generally speaking, it's easier to have a larger network of friends and to have contact and so-called seemingly connection. It's not real connection, but I didn't find that out till later. Then I realized, oh wait, this wasn't actually a real connection. It felt like it at the time because there's stages. We're all in different stages. And whatever stage we're in at the present, it's gonna feel real, and we don't know the next stage. We know previous stages, but we don't know the next stage until we get to that stage. Then you can look back and you're like, oh, you can do proper introspection about your previous stage, but you can't introspect a stage higher than what you're in. Intuitively, we can kind of sense, get a gist, if we're open and not too arrogant. That's the other thing. But we're talking about how friends disappear. When we're younger, when I was younger, it was easier because we had a, you got school, you have like career, like we have things to talk about. Wow, I want to be a doctor. Yeah, I want to be a doctor too. You can like help people or make a lot of money. It's usually the money that motivates these high-paid careers, disguised as, no, I want to serve. It's okay, regardless. We had some kind of psychological affinity, or we were in school, oh, I like this teacher or this subject, or partying. Hey man, there was a party. I used to tease my friend all the time, every time it was the weekend. I wasn't partying, but he was. I'd send him a text. This is like 20 years ago. I'd say, oh yeah, it's the weekend time. Oh yeah, I say something like that. It's party time, because that's what he'd do. Every Friday, and then he'd get drunk, he'd stay drunk all weekend, then he'd call in sick to work, and over and over again. A lot of people do that until either the body dies or they, by grace, hit some kind of bottom and come out of it. But the whole time he was doing that, he thought it was fun. Now he looks and sees it was just ridiculous. Stage of evolution. So partying, my party years were like from 12 to 15. That was it. And I just liked to smoke weed. I didn't like to drink. I never liked alcohol. It just felt sloppy. I liked to, I smoked marijuana and I got super amped. It made me super hyper, man. It affected me different than people. Then we'd go out and raise hell. So there was a bond in that kind of neurosis. You have your bond. These superficial bonds we have when we're younger, it's like through school or through, sports. That's more healthy. You can have sports. You can partying, getting high, getting drunk. Hormones too. Hormones is a big thing. Hormones will make you talk to somebody even though you have nothing in common. But, especially if it's the opposite sex, it's like, I'd tell somebody, no man, we have like this girl, we have, I'd imagine we had so much in common, we got nothing in common. It was just hormones. It was a female. She was giving me some energy and I liked it, and I had a deficit of female energy growing up, and so, oh boy, this is a nice drug. But the mind, self-honesty is super rare. super rare thing. So we justify and rationalize. No, she's a really nice girl. And so the hormones is a big factor that makes us talk to people. So all these things I listed, what happens when you get older, it's like this superficial glue that was connecting me with somebody, that evaporates. It's not there anymore. Some people get married and they have kids and totally busy with that now. I was busy enough in my own life. I couldn't imagine having a family and kids, and it just wasn't in my destiny. So then that happens, and then you see each other less, or it's like you don't get stimulated. This video, as all my videos, is for higher beings, okay? You don't get so stimulated over just nonsense and excitement as you get older. You can grow out of that, yeah, at any age, just depends. But it's no longer appealing now, like, oh, let's go to the party, let's go get drunk. Let's go and act a fool somewhere, or whatever people do. Dopamine hits, dopamine stimulation. So that starts to fade. But see, you're gonna be in a minority when that happens, because the collective, the general collective is, they stay in that for like their whole life. They try until the body dies or gets so sick they just can't do it. My friend that I was mentioning before that I would make fun of when it was party time on the weekend, I was with his sister when I was a teenager. And I don't really count her as one of the, remember sometimes I say I've had 3.5 like soulmate type girlfriends. She wasn't one of them. So now she's 48 or something, still doing the same thing she did when she was a late teen, going to the bars and getting drunk and prancing around trying to get validation from men, like same thing. Her husband's also doing the same thing. I went to their wedding like 30 years ago, and I remember I was like feeling bad for him. No, actually for both. But then a deeper part of me was like, no, wait a minute, they're like matching, man. It's okay. I'm feeling bad because I was imagining myself in that. I'm like, oh God, but no, it's not me. He's not me. Like, God works all this out. There's a screw for every nut, It's all good. So if you're more conscious, you're getting older, all these things are starting to kind of fade away. That pull, that thing that used to make you feel alive, it's not there anymore. You need depth. That's the thing. You need depth. Well, good luck in this Western society, modern world, if you're living in the West. That's getting worse all the time, because you notice though about these videos, I list the problem, but then I list solution also. There's too many people making videos that they just complain about everything, and that's it. I'm like fast forwarding, okay, where's the solution though? There's no solution, it's just a complaint. So in these videos, we try to share what's happening, because we're realists. You just look and see. I don't even call it negative. It's just happening what's happening. It's fine. It's not my thing, but like, who cares? It's the universe's business. It created this whole realm and sustains it and wants this heavy, strong, extreme level of duality, and it's okay. It's all good. But at this time and age, it's even worse. It's more difficult to find depth because of the technology. Like, people don't even talk. We can't even be in person and talk anymore. It's all, everything, or no, forget that. That's advanced if you can actually go talk to somebody. No, even talking on the phone, hearing the voice, this is a big deal. That's rare now. Now everything's texting and voice notes. Sometimes I tell people, I'm like, I'm not gonna text with you back and forth for God knows how long. If you want to talk and you want to ask me something, you call me. It's simple. It's like that. If it's some simple thing, I'll maybe text, okay, voice note. But when that becomes your main way of communication, man, who wants that? I'd rather be alone, because I enjoy being alone. We're talking about that in a little bit, of why If a being is truly connected with their own self, why none of this stuff bothers them? Why they don't need, you don't need to have this relation with people. You don't need it. It's an expression, but it's not like a necessity. It just happens automatically if it's supposed to happen. But if you don't get it, you're not like starved. That's the solution part. But did we finish up with the practical level yet? So the texting, the voice notes, there's no real connection. There's no presence. That's what's satisfying, actual presence. There's no presence through the damn phone, and it's just very cut off. You can't, it's so easy to escape, to not be vulnerable, or to hide your emotions or what you really feel. It's so easy, you just don't respond. And on top of that, it's very easy for misinterpretation to happen too. Even you hear me talking direct now, and there's a lot of, you can tell by the messages sometimes, they totally misinterpret everything that's being said. Their mind steps it down onto their CPU capacity and thinks I said something I didn't say. And there's nothing you can do about it. I'm not gonna try to explain myself, because they say, well, what did you say then? I said what I said. You already heard what I said. If that's what you think I said, then you can't understand what I'm saying. That doesn't happen so often though on this channel, because fortunately the law of magnetism, I feel like it's attracting some pretty solid people. I'm happy for that, otherwise I wouldn't do this. So if there's no presence and you're just talking through this machine all the time, it's gonna be very unsatisfying. You can be talking to 1,000 people, have 1,000 people Facebook friends. You got nothing though. There's nothing. It's all empty. I used to ask my friend, I'm like, why do people keep sending me, back in the day, I don't do Facebook at all now, okay, just so you know. They would send me friend requests, and I don't even know who they are. Or maybe I would recognize them. Oh yeah, I think I know this. But I'm like, why are you sending me a request? Like, where's the message? What do you want to do? What's happening? Why are you sending me requests? So, social media has really cut off one's connection. That's another video though, I think. I was making another title, why we can't connect anymore. I want to keep that separate. Because here we're talking about friends, why they disappear. And I shared why it's easier to have a sense of connection in friend type relation when we're younger, and then what happens when we get older, how that starts to fade if you're higher level, because you outgrow all the nonsense that used to connect you. This is why they start to fade. You just can't do it anymore. You can't. You don't have the tolerance. You pay a price when you compromise and try to connect in the same way that you used to connect. You can't do it. It's like that stage is over now. For them, it's not. It's still alive, so they can't understand. For you, it's over. So those people, they end up usually spending more time alone. And then one or two things will happen. Either they'll get bitter and cynical because a part of them feels deprived, because it is a natural human instinct to want to connect with others. There's some interpersonal relation software that's embodied in this machine, and that's natural. So don't deny that. But they get too bitter over it. Why? Because they haven't connected. You can say, there's many ways to say this, you find your own way. They haven't found solace in their own self. They haven't. What ends up happening, again, this is coded, this is going to happen no matter what, it's a question of time. You end up getting to where you feel like you're having a relationship with existence, just existence. You just feel something, like you can feel like there's existence, right? I'm sitting here and like I'm existing in this huge infinite realm of existence. Just that awareness starts to give some kind of comfort. Silence starts to give more comfort. Not thinking about things and goals and ambitions and all that stuff. That starts to give more comfort. At first, though, it's the opposite. we need that noise, so otherwise we feel like we'll have a panic attack because there's so much tension and stuff inside that we're trying to cover up via the noise. But through this unwinding process, you start to get to where you don't want the noise. That happens in its own time, and there's no end to that. That's a constant evolution too. You don't get to where, okay, I'm gonna plant the flag post now. I love silence 24/7. No, it can, human software can still kick up and play, so what? But you get to where you appreciate now. You're having a relationship with the universe or existence. That's your main relationship. Then you're not so hungry for other relationships, for human relationships. So then they can kind of come more easy now. You might get satisfied just going to the store and being around a few people. That's like enough. You're like, cool. Maybe you'll talk to somebody, maybe the cashier, or I don't know. That's enough. You're satisfied. You don't need some deep, I used to. I had to taste that to get to where I don't need it. Some deep connective relation with somebody else, and they're mirroring back to me who I am, and that's satisfying. Like, I needed that. I wanted to experience that, but I saw the limitation in that too after a certain point, because everybody's different and nobody's gonna ever get you 100%. Only existence can. But existence, it's a silent reflection back to you. It's not on such dense, gross level. It's not gonna say to you in audio version like, yes, I get you. No, you just somehow, you get your own self. So that's what ends up happening when we go through these stages. First we have friends, then like you start to lose the friends. And you're like, why? Okay, I explain why. And then you're like, this kind of sucks, but I'm not gonna admit it. I don't need anybody, right? Go through that ego stage. But then you'll get in touch with, yeah, but I wish I'm missing some relationship, but yet I don't want to go back. I can't go backwards either. It's like I'm missing relationships, but not really, but like, what am I gonna do? That's that in-between stage. Next part, you'll cross over and you'll start to have you'll feel this sense of completeness through just existence. It's your relation. All right. So we hit all that modern nonsense. Wow, I think we hit everything. Oh, okay. I should say this too. See, everybody's different. You can't say like this is God's show is very diverse. There's going to be some beings who, when they go through these stages, having friends, losing friends, being okay without friends, they still, because this is their lineage, this is their archetype, this is their expression, they still may be one who may look like they have a lot of friends or a lot of interaction. Somebody else, maybe not. Maybe they don't have any interaction. Is one better than the other? No, that's the point. The one that seems to have more interaction with others, it's not like, wow, they're so spiritual and that's so nice and they're trying to help all the people. And this person who's more alone, they should try to work and come out of themselves. No, it's not like that. Nor is it the person who's alone looking at the one who's interacting, saying, man, if you were higher, you wouldn't waste your time with all that stupid small talk, telling yourself like, whoa, yeah, I'm trying to help them and make them feel good, but really you're just alone. You see, this all the mind justification can play both sides. So it's neither or. That's that expression, they're engaged with people. This is their expression, where they're more solitary. That's not our business. We don't choose that. It's not a choice. Have you realized yet there's really hardly no choices? There's an unfolding. And we get to witness that in the moment when it's time. It's just one big unfolding. The universe is unfolding through you and me and him and her and this and that, and it's just unfolding. But it looks like we're making choices. Yeah, it's supposed to look like that because this is a high-tech, cosmic, 3D virtual reality game. It's supposed to look like there's choices and there's a me and an autonomous me, and I'm making choices, and should I do this or that? And meanwhile, the whole thing's just unfolding. Cooperate with that. Don't deny it. Don't be a non-dual oak and say there's no choices. No, you just be what you are. That's what we are anyway. But we have to become, and we will be more conscious and aware of what we are, but never totally knowing who we are because we're infinite. And it's supposed to be like that. Otherwise it's boring. If you just know everything now, then what? This whole creation's a constant infinite expansion. You can't come to the end of yourself because it's constantly being expanded. And the mind will say, well, how is that possible? Or sometimes people ask, how is it that the infinite always existed? Because the mind's used to thinking in terms of there's a beginning and there's an end. Yeah, the mind can't understand these things. Only intuitively you can have some kind of just recognition. But then the mind will try to understand what that recognition is. It's like you're talking about a total different faculty. The mind cannot understand intuition. Intuition can understand the mind. Remember? The higher can understand the lower, but the lower can't understand the higher. But the lower doesn't know that. So then the lower makes fun of the higher because it thinks the higher is really the lower because that's all the lower knows. It doesn't know anything higher than itself, so it just thinks everybody's in the same category. So you had to deal with all that that brain damage. It can be, kind of disheartening for a while until then you realize, no, this is just how it is. And I'm not here on this plane forever, so like what difference does it make? Who cares? I can bear this for a bit. And then those people, you may not want to, they may want to spend more time alone. I can understand. Why would you want to, be somewhere where nobody understands you hardly? Unless you're doing practical things and taking care of stuff, and I got to get the oil change in my car, and I have to, whatever, practical things. But to have some kind of sit down talk where you're sharing energy and presence, probably not going to do that with most people. So you be who you are. If you enjoy and you can feel something inside that enjoys being around others and you're expressing yourself, and even though you're playing down, trying to help them because you get a sense of joy by seeing they get a sense of joy, great, do that. Those that don't feel that and it feels more like an inner compromise, particularly if you have a sensitive nervous system, honor that. Don't do that. That's not your role. That's not your play. Nothing wrong with that, and nothing wrong with you. And nothing right with them that's doing it. No, it's like this is God's play. You do what you do. You do me, I do you. No, I do me, and you do you. Right? That's what it is. All right, I'm out. I'll see you.